Do a watch list here for Tuesday, May 21st. A lot of action here today. GME and AMC, they continued their fade. I tried GME a couple times, small winner, small loser. It continued to fade off and actually came back rather abruptly there into close. AMC took a bit of a loss there when it broke low a day and broke red. Again, also came back there into the close. It might have done just enough today to shake out all the longs that were trying to dip by this. So we'll see where we're at tomorrow morning if this thing wants to prove itself and actually have a bounce day, but getting close to taking these off radar, which is also kind of a double-edged sword because when I'm getting close to taking it off radar, I start feeling like longs are getting a bit exhausted and maybe the opportunity is there. So we'll see where we're at here off open. FFIE, I came prepared here with that watch list idea yesterday when we had faded off really hard into close and then actually came back after hours. So I was hopeful for a gap up into this sort of congestion range in the 220s, anywhere into there. And we got it. We got a 100% gap up pretty much. And I was a bit aggressive. I didn't have as much conviction as I did on this fade when it going red the first time. But given that this was a 100% gap up and now a stock on its backside, I believed pops would get sold into. So I put some on here right into open just in case it was going to halt down. And I just covered through pre-market highs for a super tiny loss. It was just a feeler. And then I started putting some in once we got that hard crack lower high versus VWAP. And right here, I got a bit, I guess you'd say bottom heavy on this short where I started scaling in a bit prematurely. And Nate on broadcast this morning had said, watch your sizes on something like FFIE if you've got a big picture idea for the backside for the big fade, big unwind over like a multiple week period. Don't be using day trading size for a big picture idea. And that's what I did a bit aggressively here. So I just had to protect and size down. And then once we got this failed fall through momentum, this was a key level from prior days on Friday. So then once we started breaking down here, I was able to scale up versus super tight risk and then get a nice cover into the flush and then Kraken sympathy trade right off of it, where when FFIE was failing pops versus VWAP, this one was still up right near its highs a day. So I got a decent position on here. And once I started chopping myself up on FFIE, I put some covers in on this one just to lock some in. And then right here around 11 when I started scaling back into here was at the same time that I was scaling back into Fifi for that rollover trade. So Kraken was my main one here. Kind of get a crystal ball when I can trade sympathies because they have a few second delay that you can anticipate what kind of move they're going to make there. So nice trades on those. Brush was my other trade. Everybody's chasing these cheapy ones, looking for the next FFIE. And you got this big parabolic. You can see the volume starting to speed up, and you get this big red candle. I had put a small starter on here front side. And then my scales came when the 2-minute prior bar low broke. So I put some in here. Put some in, was using high a day as a guide, and then scaled up once the prior 2-minute bars broke. As you can see, it didn't happen for like 10 to 15 minutes. So once it happened, and then I used the VWAP pull as a cover spot and moved on there. The 28 range was based on looking left levels into this 27, 28 from a couple days ago. If you're just looking at the daily, you won't see it, but looking at an intradaily, you get to these levels where it's had trouble before. Duo broke out of its range that I had mentioned there, either under 140s or over 2. And once it broke under 140s, there was a fairly clean fade there to a buck with a bunch of bag holders there. Yeah, so that's the kind of review here for what happened today in terms of main A plus stuff tomorrow. Oh yeah, and I had a trade on IPW too. That first red day I had mentioned yesterday, super small trade. It was that same bouncing ball setup, but I wasn't willing to stick around. It was just more of a scalp because it was up on earnings. But I just wanted to mention that one too. But yeah, in terms of like main watches, A plus, like this is what I'm coming to watch tomorrow. I don't really have that. I don't really have that feeling on any of these names. Nothing really jumping out. I feel like I'm scanning a bit harder this evening versus the prior few days and weeks that A plus was kind of jumping out at me, and I had a couple that I was really excited to trade. So let me look here. Peggy, yeah, same kind of thing as Brush. Just chopping around in its range. We had NVAX was a recent runner, kind of coming up into this 15 level. I might trade this one through 15 through today's highs if it confirms over 1480. I could see myself taking a trade there. What else? FFIE, I still think that this is a POS. If you remember YYAI, when it had its big red day, and it took a couple days, and then this day here, it stayed heavy the entire day. If I can go back to, here we go, 419 right here after it bounced for a little bit. Oops. Right here, right off open, and it literally pulled, and then all pops first VWAP faded all day. So I kind of feel like this is what I'm looking for on FFIE, where we get these kind of pops and choppy action, and then eventually this thing just round trips like all in a day once it chops enough people up. I feel like I could see that happening there, so I'll be looking still for pops here. And then, yeah, I think GME, AMC, potential first green days, but again, not really A+, FFIE, Kraken. Yeah, that's about it. There's nothing really, it's kind of the same names that I've been trading, and just looking for opportunities on them in like a bigger picture scale, and keeping in mind where I think traders are and where they're stuck on the other side of the trade, and try to use that to my advantage. But yeah, nothing really A+ for me tomorrow. So hopefully we get a few more movers and some nicer daily structure that I can play off of, and we can get some better watches here for me. So yeah, I think that's about it, and I will see you guys in the room tomorrow. Take it easy.